Hey guys, this is Multiverse Nerds. You're watching Geek Gossip. I'm Russ.
And I'm Rob. Welcome to our world. Today we're going to review the WWE Elimination Chamber 2014.
Absolutely. I was so pumped going into this pay-per-view. I was really pumped for a couple of the matches.
Yes.
You know, obviously we start off with the pre-show. We got the Brotherhood of Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Ryback and Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Ryback. Thrown together tag team, but we had the Rhodes brothers who brought the match, okay? They are the ones that have been pulling a lot of the tag team division just because they're good chemistry. Granted, they are brothers, so that probably helps out. 2 weeks ago on Raw, the moonsault off top of the cage, it was amazing.
Absolutely, and I'm so happy to see Goldust back in the WWE. He looks completely re-energized, reinvigorated. He's doing 6 spots. He looks the best he's ever been.
We got to watch it, though, because I think they're going to have him break up. I know it's a little bit early for them to do it. I figured it would be this show because we all want to see the Rhodes brothers clash. It will happen. It's just going to take some time, I think.
Absolutely. Brotherhood picks up the win in this. Pretty good match overall, I guess.
Not bad for a pre-show, to be honest.
Absolutely, I agree. Then we get to the main show. First match of the night is Big E versus Jack Swagger for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, and Big E's up-and-coming star, came from the NXT, has the belt. He's really pulling his own weight in this division.
Absolutely. I think Big E looked really strong in this match, and I think one of the best spots of the night was Big E's spear to Jack Swagger through the ropes onto the floor. Amazing spot.
Big man flying, and he got up, got the Big E splash, nailed it. It was
Absolutely. Fantastic match. Then we get to the point where I feel like the pay-per-view really started getting sluggish. The Bad News Barrett segments. You know, at the time it was just the first one. I thought maybe it was just a one-time thing, but they really overdid this all night long.
Bad news for fans, we had to see it multiple times. Bad news for Barrett, go back geography class. You make fun of the Olympics, Russia winning, being from Europe. Russia's not in the European continent. He's in the Asian continent. Go back to geography class, man.
Absolutely. And then after that, we have the New Age Outlaws taking on the Usos for the tag titles.
Road Dogg, entry, spot on. Usos, entry, spot on. Wonderful beginning of it.
Absolutely. I thought this match was pretty good. I really wanted to see the Usos get the titles. I know you and I are giant Uso fans.
Yes. They need it. They're up and coming. They are the future of the tag team division, in my opinion. The Outlaws, they come out, Road Dogg, BA, yeah, they earned their belts. They got 6-time. They're going to WrestleMania. We understand that. This is their last shot, probably. But you know what? Rematch at WrestleMania, I can see it happening.
Absolutely. I really hope to see the Usos take the tag belts at WrestleMania.
It'd be good for them. Good push.
Absolutely. Next up, yet another Bad News Barrett segment talking about the return of Hulk Hogan.
Which we're all excited for, but bad news, Barrett brought it.
Absolutely. I mean, it got so stale as a segment that his podium stopped working.
That should have been a sign. Stop after your first one.
Absolutely. I agree completely. Next up, we have Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young.
Very saddening to us. Primetime players, our favorite tag team, but now they're in their singles division. They need it. Titus really needs it because he's a good one-on-one competitor.
Absolutely. Titus is a really good worker, and I know that you and I are big primetime player fans, and you know, I really do like both of them as singles competitors, but clearly in this match, Darren Young still he needs to work on his timing a lot. I saw a lot of missed opportunities. I saw a couple bad spots from Darren.
Yeah.
Titus obviously picks up the win. You can kind of see Titus building, you know, into that mid-card level.
Yeah, I don't see him going higher than mid-card. Maybe Intercontinental, challenge Big E, maybe the U.S. Championship, but not WWE Champion.
Absolutely. And then yet again, another Bad News Barrett segment.
What? WWE Network, we get it. It's going to be amazing, but bad news does not need to bring it.
Absolutely. They could have done so much with promoting the WWE Network. They didn't have to shoehorn another Bad News Barrett segment into it. I thought it really slowed the night down. Then we easily get to what I know you and I thought was the match of the night, the Wyatts versus the Shield.
That was the main event, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The Wyatts, Shield, they've had this rivalry, few weeks coming. Cost them the Elimination Chamber. Now the Shield wants redemption. Roman Reigns becoming kind of like the general of the Shield. Wyatt, Bray, he's always their leader. Now it's a big clash. We get to see the match.
Absolutely. You know it's going to be a good match when the fans are chanting, "This is awesome," before one punch has even been thrown.
I had goosebumps. It was awesome. Just seeing the standoff, it was like, oh, this is what we want.
Absolutely. Creative team totally needs some credit on this one. The build-up was awesome. You've got the internal storyline of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose fighting for control of the Shield. And then, something that I've been watching and noticing the past few weeks is, Seth Rollins is not losing any of the limelight. I feel he's really a workhorse in the ring. Kind of reminds me of a CM Punk type character. A lot of high flying stuff. A lot of dexterity driven moves with the rolling around the rings and the kicks and the things like that.
He was a high acrobat tonight. I can see him getting pushed later on. He still needs to build more on his character, but I think Shield will break up here soon. Wyatts won't. They're looking stronger than ever. Great spots by the Rowan and Luke Harper. When they started out, they weren't the greatest of wrestlers. Now they've proved themselves, hey, we can get in the ring, we can do the moves. And it showed it. The double slam through the Spanish announce table on Rollins, that was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was a totally good spot. I really like seeing Rowan and Harper kind of coming into the Roan in the tag division. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind seeing them get a push for the tag titles pretty soon.
I mean, they had a push, could have had the belts, but they weren't ready. They weren't to their, spot that they are now. But that when they took Rollins out, Ambrose is out, Bray took him out. Then it was down to Reigns against the three Wyatts. Reigns did what he had to do. He tried. Powered out of the Sister Abigail, tried to fight him off, but in the end, Bray put him in the Sister Abigail, and it was all over.
Absolutely. I loved seeing the fact that Roman Reigns can still get a singles push. Mm-hmm. He's obviously the next up-and-coming superstar, the golden child, probably to take over Cena's spot. Mm-hmm. They gave him the push he needed. He held his own against the Wyatts, but I felt like they went in the right direction. I felt like the Wyatts needed this win.
Yeah, they do, because it's going to set up what's going to happen with Bray. He's going to be the major heel in WWE, in my opinion.
Absolutely, he needs to be. I think he has that character. Mm-hmm. I think they just have a really good thing going with him.
Yes.
Next up, AJ Lee versus Cameron. It's a Divas match.
Bathroom breaks.
Absolutely. Cameron gets the win by disqualification. Next.
Yeah.
Then we go on to what I thought was even probably a worse match than the Divas match. Batista versus Del Rio.
Oh, that did happen, didn't it? See, I forgot because it was boring. Best chant of the night, though, Boo Tista.
Yeah, I feel like WWE really shot themselves in the foot with Batista's return. You kind of saw the framework. No one really cares about him coming back as much as WWE expected people to think that they were going to care.
Exactly. The creative team really took a hit on this one. Nobody wants to see him at WrestleMania for the belt. If he gets a belt, we might have a problem with the fans.
Absolutely. Batista gets the win, obviously. They're not going to make him lose going into WrestleMania for the title.
Although the fans wanted it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then we get to the main event of the pay-per-view itself, the Elimination Chamber match. We have Sheamus, Orton, Cena, Daniel Bryan, Christian, and Cesaro, absolutely. Cesaro and Sheamus start the match off. Pacing wise, I kind of expected it. They're going to start slow. It's going to be a long match.
Yeah, being our first Elimination Chamber match, we've seen plenty of pay-per-views before, but ironically, it was both of our first Elimination Chamber matches. I wasn't really impressed.
Yeah, I know the Chamber came up quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, this is the first one that you and I have watched. Yeah, I think what we're just seeing is a product of that PG era. Shying away from really tearing each other apart, grinding faces into the cage. You saw the cage utilized, clearly not as much as they used to.
You see, going through the pods, few superstars went through them, few big hits. Not what I was expecting.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's the first to enter. Kind of surprised me. I thought they would save the suspense. You're going to get the yes chance as they're doing the countdown, but they brought Bryan in. And then one thing I know that you and I both noticed was that Daniel Bryan completely downplaying the shoulder injury, the yes chance, everything, never acted like it was hurt.
Yeah, he was getting into it too much. Even through the match, they were trying to take out his shoulder. Christian, when he gets into the match next, went right for that shoulder, didn't affect him at all. He kept getting up, doing what Bryan was doing. Went through a pod, shoulder first, his bad shoulder. Got up, was still Daniel Bryan. There wasn't a change.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan kind of harnessed his inner John Cena and pretty much no-sold the injury.
Yeah.
Then we have, speaking of Cena, Cena's the next one out. You know, Cena does his thing, kind of takes a beating here and there, does his one or two moves of doom, pretty much on to the next. Yep. Then we finally have Orton in. At this point, all 6 members are in it, no eliminations.
I thought somebody should have been eliminated before Orton. There's too much in the ring. And as you can tell, Orton gets in the ring, all 5 superstars stare him down.
Right.
What does he do? He slithers back into his pod and tries to escape the mayhem, being the Viper that he is.
Absolutely. I love how they're playing Orton up as this underachieving heel. He always wins, but he always wins with some kind of outside interference or some kind of distraction. He never generally
picks up the win.
Exactly. He never really does it under his own accord. The authorities tends to have to help him. I really like them playing him up like that kind of a heel. Obviously, kind of a surprise, I think, to the both of us. Sheaman's the first one eliminated.
Yeah. When he was eliminated, it was like, you know, the other two between Christian and Cesaro, who got eliminated next, they were thrown into this match, in my opinion. When CM Punk was walked out, I think his spot was taken by Christian, maybe. So it was like, he should have been out first. But Sheamus to go first, it was surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. Then Christian kind of goes out pretty much right after that. Now, I was really happy to see one spot from Christian, the dive off the pod.
That was nice.
I thought that was a great spot. But obviously, we knew Christian wasn't going to last very long. He wasn't going to make it onto the Final 4, Final 3, so on and so forth. Then Cesaro, I know that, you know, by this time in the match, you and I were pushing for Cesaro. We both knew he wasn't going to get the push. But Cesaro really does continue to prove that he can hold his own against the A-listers.
Yeah, in this Cesaro swing, 28 swings on Orton. It was awesome to see.
It was absolutely a treat to see him do that. Absolutely.
But then he gets eliminated, and here we go.
Absolutely. Then a spot that I think both of you and I anticipated. You know, the lights come out, the Wyatt interlude plays. Here comes the Wyatts in. They just absolutely decimate Cena. You kind of saw this coming because they have to turn it back around where it's the Wyatts versus Cena. I really liked seeing this though because I really like them giving the Wyatts this kind of mysterious, almost supernatural power, almost like an Undertaker kind of feel. I really like that they're doing that, and I'm really excited to see Cena go up against Wyatt. Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. I'm kind of looking forward to that match.
I think they're going to push Wyatt over Cena.
I certainly hope so.
But it is the WWE. They like Cena to win because, you know, he's the fan favorite for all the little kids. That's where they might go. Let's hope for the best, okay?
Absolutely.
So he gets eliminated. It leaves Orton and Bryan. But out comes Kane checking on Cena and pushing the Wyatts out.
Yeah, and as soon as you see Kane, you know exactly where this is going to go. There's going to be some interference. I was actually surprised, though. Kane didn't just outright jump in the ring and start pummeling Bryan. Bryan actually makes the move to go after Kane, and then that kind of leaves him open for Orton to go after him. You see Daniel Bryan kick out of an RKO. I think that excited, obviously, a lot of people. But again, you know Kane's still in there. You know it's going to catch up. Orton gets the victory, and in character-driven style, it's not under his own accord. He had to get the help from Kane. Orton walks out with the belt.
And that leads in WrestleMania. We have Orton, Bautista, as we heard tonight. That's where they're going. Not too excited. Hopefully the other cards are going to be really good.
Yeah, you know, they still have a couple of weeks out before WrestleMania. I'll be interested to see if they continue to go in the direction of it's just Orton versus Batista. I don't see a lot of people excited for that.
No, that's going to be the main event. Once again, I think it's going to be the Wyatts, maybe the Shield, that will pull for most of the excitement for that pay-per-view.
Absolutely. So now that we've covered all the matches, let's get to our reviews.
Okay.
What review do you give this pay-per-view?
I give it a 7 out of 10, okay? The reason I give it a 7 out of 10, it was stale. It wasn't the greatest. I wasn't impressed in Elimination. And the only reason I gave it a 7 is because of the Shield and the Wyatts. That brought it to a 7 for me.
Absolutely. In my opinion, I want to give it a little bit of a higher grade.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give it an 8. The Divas match and the Batista Del Rio match really pulled this pay-per-view down for me.
Mm-hmm.
The Barrett segments, I get it. They weren't so long. It's just that there were too many of them. But overall, the matches were pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the Wyatts versus the Shield just completely made this pay-per-view worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, go to multiversenerds.com, and we'll see you soon.